the room. And if time permits, we'll go to questions virtually at the end. This press conference is being streamed by Clemson Plus, as well as our partners at Fox Carolina and 105.5 The Roar. So we'd appreciate it if you all would speak up and enunciate so those audiences can hear your questions. Coach, whenever you're ready, take it away.
Appreciate it. Good morning, everybody. Back on the road again this week, so heading up to Boston. Always a tough place to play and always a tough team to play, and no different in this scenario. Watching the team, their record is 1-4, and this is far from a 1-4 football team. They are, you say it, but it's. I mean, they're 4 plays away from being 4-1, without a doubt. So it's very well coached, and I know they are battling through some disappointment because they've had some heartbreakers. Michigan State game in overtime. Stanford game, they got a big lead and got away from them on a couple plays, and then ended up losing that one. Then they got the Cal game won, and comes down to the last play, lose that one. So they've had some real heartbreakers, as so have we. And but they have competed their butts off. And then this past week, kind of got away. They had a bunch of guys out. I mean, I don't know if y'all saw their injury report about it, but they had a ton of guys out, especially on defense. They had at least 10 guys out on defense, and just got in a hole early and against Pitt. I mean, it's a good team. I mean, literally a few plays from 4-1. And very impressed when you watch the tape. It's probably the best OL we've played as far as how they play together as a group. This is a really good offensive line, big, strong, well coached. Back's a really good player. He's downhill. He's actually from Rock Hill. He'd be excited to play the Tigers. They use him a lot in the passing game. I think they've got really good receivers. 4, I think, an NFL guy. This guy's 6'5", 217 pounds. He's a big body kid. 11's going to be the all-time leading receiver in Boston. He's a really good player. 17 is a guy that they get the ball a ton. They got a couple other speed guys. I think one's been out for them. He's a good player. I don't know if he'll be back or not. Multiple formations. They do a good job as far as creating, formational challenge as far as how you line up and defending extra gaps, a ton of play action, a lot of max protection to get the shots downfield. And that's probably the biggest thing, looking at them. I mean, they're 11th in the nation in passing, so they're throwing the ball all over the park, but it comes through the run game. There's a ton of play. It's not like they're just dropping back and letting it rip. There's a ton of play action and really good scheme. Their quarterback, I think, is a very good player. He's a kid we recruited. He's from down in Snellville, Georgia. He signed with Alabama, but he's a very good player. Again, 11th in the country in passing. They schematically really stress you, with how they go about, creating their shots through the run, the play action, a bunch of screens, and manipulation plays with throwbacks and things like that built into it. Backs free releasing a lot. I think he's maybe 3rd or so in receiving on the team, so you got to account for him. So I was very impressed, watching the tape. You don't know anything about a record. You just watch the tape, and you're like, man, these guys they play tough. They're well coached. Quarterback, I think he's an elite thrower. He's very accurate. They got skill outside, and they got a tough runner in the backfield. So I think it's a big challenge for us. And then on the other side, same thing. Big, strong, physical guys up front. Typical big physical linebackers that you always think about at BC, and just a bunch of tight coverage. You got to make plays against these guys. I think they're well coached. They do a good job with their press technique. They do a good job getting hands on guys. You can tell they know and believe in their scheme. Got a couple big hitters. You better know where Zero is. He's a guy that shows up on tape every single week. Plays really hard for them. So physical group, tough group, a lot of pressure, a ton of pressure with this team, a lot of movement. And it's a tough matchup for us, and excited about the challenge. But, again, night game, Chestnut Hill. It'll be a great environment and a great college football game. Look forward to it. Good team. Any questions?
Is Elijah Thurman, is he getting closer, getting back?
Yeah, he's just kind of day to day right now. He'll be out this week, but he's, not long term.
It's just one game, but what did you see from guys in the locker room after just finally getting a win on the board, playing well, like you said, and is that kind of carried over? You felt like people are looser,
Yeah.
lighter, that type of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great locker room. I mean, we have had some heartbreaks and just honestly, we hadn't played well. I mean, that's just another way to say it. And so I think, again, we won the Troy game, but we didn't play well. And so it was good. It was good for them to win the game for sure, but to play well and to really see and feel what that looks like when they really put it all together as a group, complimentary-wise. So no question. I mean, they played with great execution on both sides of the ball, and it was fun to watch the tape, and you just see it, and it's fundamentals, it's precision in what you're doing, it's making the critical play, it's making the routine play, so yeah, that part was really good, and so now we got to create consistency in performance, so that comes through practice and it's confidence. Yeah, hopefully they're coming out of it with some confidence. They can be reminded of, no, this is who you are. I mean, again, when you have a tough start like we have at a place like Clemson, I mean, there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of criticism and things like that. And these are young people, and can affect your confidence. So for them to be able to have a game like that and hopefully be reminded, like, this is who you are, and now you guys got to build on it. Again, just the same things that won that game are the same things that can win the next game. And it's just doing the little things well. I think we've had really good preparation all year, honestly. But taking it to game day, so another opportunity this week, and just thought the mindset and kind of with a reset with those guys was good. So. But it doesn't get any easier. I mean, everybody we play, we know we're going to get everybody's best, and this is a good football team. This is a good football team, for sure. They're well coached and tough, physical group that you got to go beat. They're not gonna give you anything.
You mentioned reminding players who they are. Just curious, what's that look like? Is that showing them film or like words of encouragement? How do you get them going to remember how talented they could play to the level of their talent? Yeah,
all of the above. I mean, it's certainly your meetings and your encouragement and watching a ton of film, and then it's just going and doing it and getting the results. I think that's a big part of it. Coming off a game like that, because again, sometimes you got some guys that are really playing well, but they're not getting the results. So you kind of want those guys continue doing what they're doing, and then other guys that haven't played as well, like, how do we get them going, and how do we encourage them? How do we, whether it's watching more, some tape differently or whatever it is. But the guys responded well, and again, just the energy, the complimentary aspect of it, and something they can gain some confidence from. But it's just one game, and got to try to build one week at a time, one day at a time. Big day today.
Did you get to see Batman?
Did I see Batman? No, I didn't see Batman. I told Cade, I was like, sometimes I think these guys, when you get in a situation, you forget who you are, because everybody's telling you what you're not, and sometimes you can lose your confidence a little bit or whatever, or try to do too much. And that was kind of what I told him. I'm like, listen, man, I mean, like, you're Batman, like, but my message was more, you're Cade Klubnik, like, just be Cade. And so I mean, he was awesome. That was obviously a tremendous performance by him, and so hopefully that can, get him back on track and just playing with the type of confidence that we need him to play with, because he's a really good player, and he just good to see him, playing free.
Because what do you mean by you're Batman? What does that mean?
Well, I mean, I've just, just like, you can do something about it. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to, like you can do something. I mean, you don't have, you're Superman. You ain't got to stay down in this hole. You can just fly right out of it, right? Like, you know, remember who you are. You know, and that's just kind of was really just a message for the team. It was a message for certainly for Cade, and you know, going into that game, like as we reset, like you guys have forgotten who you are. I mean, and we're playing, you know, not anywhere near to our capabilities. A few guys in particular, and it just certainly worked, complement each other. But we can do something about it. There's a lot of teams out there that they lose games and they're just not very good. Can't do anything about it. You know, we can, but we gotta be who we are, and we gotta, you know, play to our capabilities. And it's just good to see them, you know, have a game like that.
Hypothetically speaking, what kind of words of encouragement would you have for Bill Belichick, considering kind of what he's going through right now and the scene that they had there in North Carolina Center?
Bill Belichick doesn't need any words of encouragement from me. He's been doing this a lot longer than me. He's not his first rodeo.
You've seen ugly in college football. I mean, you've seen empty stadiums, and you've seen people booing and walking out.
Yeah, I have. I've seen it, lived it. That's the unfortunate side of this, but it's what we all sign up for. We all understand that. I mean, you got to take the good and the bad with it, and just do the work every day. And I don't think there's anybody better than him. I mean, he's going to show up and do the work. I'm not here to talk about North Carolina.
With him growing up close by, how excited is Ronan for this game, and what kind of message do you give to him to kind of control the emotions in a sort of homecoming like this?
Oh, he's just super excited. I mean, Ronan's a guy that's pumped to play every week. He's pumped to practice. You know, he's just one of them guys that loves it. I mean, he's a gym rat, as people will say. I mean, he loves practice. He loves training. He loves everything that comes with it. He loves film study. There's no part of football that Ronan doesn't love. So, you know, and in fact, we're going to Boston. That's just kind of a unique thing for him. He'll be a captain for us in this game. So excited for him. You know, he's got a brother at Boston. He's got a brother at West Virginia. You know, he's here. Comes from a athletic family. His dad was a good player. You know, I'm sure there'll be probably 100 Hannafins are somehow related up there, I'm sure. But, you know, it's awesome for him. Exciting to be able to. We haven't played. I don't know. I guess we went up there in 22, maybe 22. So we haven't been up there in a while. So good opportunity for him.
You said last night that TJ had his best game, TJ Parker.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate a little bit what you saw on film with him?
Yeah, I mean, he's player of the game for us. I mean, he was disruptive. He's flying around. I mean, he's making some extra effort plays. You know, defeating blocks. You know, just creating pressure, reading things properly. You know, he created TFL, just took the tight end right into the guy. I mean, he just really played really loose and just flying around having some fun out there. And it was good to see.
And that was another guy you kind of wanted to see beat Batman, if you will.
Yeah. It's not that he's played bad. I thought he played really good against LSU. But then I think he's just another guy that I think was a little bit affected by things he doesn't control. And, you know, you can't let external things affect your performance. You just play to a standard, period, the end. And I just think he was one of those guys that wasn't playing bad, just not really playing like we know he can play. And so he was disruptive. Again, a ton of energy, and I think he just was focused on playing well and nothing else. And he played his best game, very productive.
Adam Randall up over 100 total yards. I think that's the third time in the last 4 games it's happened. Has he been everything you guys hoped he would be as a weapon out of the backfield?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's 400 plus all-purpose games in a row for him. So dynamic, that's what we thought he'd be. I'd say he's probably been maybe even better than what we hoped for as far as making a transition. I'm really proud of him. I mean, he's been good every game. I mean, he's had a couple plays here or there, but he's given us a chance every single game. I know he's I mean, he's just played with a ton of passion, a ton of toughness, a ton of heart, and he's dynamic. I mean, he's making plays in all areas, receiving, returning, rushing. He's given us an opportunity to win, and really proud of him. I mean, it's nobody deserves it more.
How would you rate his pass throw, and I guess also the others at running back? Just y'all been pressured a lot. I'm just curious.
Yeah, he's been good for the most part. He's had a couple. He missed a corner cat one of the games, and he didn't have any issues in the pass game this past week. We had a miscommunication with the OL. It was on the OL, not on Adam, but he's done good. I mean, he's picked up a couple of good key blitzes along the way. Again, he missed a cat in one of the games that hurt us, but I mean, he's smart. He understands it. And then, this past week was just really good to, feel like you're getting in the rhythm of just playing and a good rotation. Gid and Easy are just getting better every single week, every day at practice. I thought Gid went in there and did some good stuff. Same with Easy. So, I mean, we like our guys. We just haven't had a ton of opportunity with some of those guys early on in our season. So it was good to have a game where we could really, just let them play and let them develop. So I think you'll see those guys continue to get better. But we're not disappointed. Just young guys getting better.
Christian Smith reported a season high in receptions and yards on Saturday. Just what do you continue to see from him, and how does he continue to carve a rollout on this offense?
Yeah, so he's had back-to-back good games for us. It's 2 good games in a row that he's shown up, made some plays. I think early on, just first couple games, just really being able to trust him, and so he's been practicing really well. So he's just earning more trust, and he is a matchup problem. He's got unbelievable length, and he's really a skilled guy at finishing on the ball. And he's you wouldn't think it, but he's a really good after the catch guy. Similar for you guys that have been around here. Similar to remember Aaron Kelly. Similar to that. Aaron was a 6'5" guy, and but Aaron, what made him unique was he could run with the ball after the catch, and this kid's similar to that. He's hard to bring down. He's kind of slinky, and so we're proud of him. A couple good games. We need him to keep coming. It'll be a big challenge this week. Again, it's a lot of man-to-man, a lot of competitive plays. So we'll have to win some matchups.
Coach, your first win as a head coach was at Boston College. You've got that awesome photo in your office from there. What are the feelings associated with going back there?
Yeah, I just, I think, when was that, 08? I'm trying to think. I guess I went up there, I don't know, maybe once as an assistant. Maybe. Was that the first time we went up there? And that was the first time I'd been to Boston. I didn't know, Boston was like some mythical place off in another, hemisphere. I didn't know. I'd just never been up there. So it was kind of cool the first time I went up there as an assistant, and that was a neat trip and experience. But obviously going up there in 08, it was different circumstances. I mean they were a really good team, and a really good team, and we're 3-4, I think, at the time, and we needed a win. And that was an amazing, we had a tough loss against Georgia Tech in that first game. Grisham threw the pick 6, and then TA got the holding call on a sprint out that we hit Jacoby Ford on. It was unbelievable. We could have set up a game-winning kick there. So we were down. But, the guys were good spirits. We were coming off an open date. And it was just, one of them games. And if I remember correctly, we got up. I think it was like 17-0. We got up I think it was a big lead early. And then they come back, and it was just a magical night. Spiller had a huge kick return. Aaron Kelly, huge plays. D-Mac had some big plays in that game. all those guys, James Davis, all those guys, were just, it was a great game. And somehow or another, we made one more play than they did, and that's definitely ranks up there, one of the coolest moments I've ever experienced. Because it just kind of gave us a shot in the arm and kind of solidified a little bit of the belief that we were trying to instill in those guys. And because again, we were a 3-4 football team. You got seniors that are going to be done in a few weeks, but getting those guys to compete and have fun playing football, and just all about that moment, that day, it was awesome. So seems like yesterday, it really was. But that was one I'll never forget. It's the first one. And we get, it's just a trophy. It's the O'Rourke McFadden trophy, the leather helmet. They've been doing that. So obviously we hadn't played them since 22. So I'm sure that'll be a part of it as well. Spiller, I think, was the first leather helmet guy.
Is it about that atmosphere that makes it such a tough place to kind of go in and play? Or is it the fact that they put those tough, big old kids out on the line?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just the type of team they always have. It's just a tough-minded, physical group every year. I mean, every as long as I've gone against Boston College, there's just certain things. It doesn't matter who the coach is. I mean, you just can count on that. I think it's just the culture of the place. I mean, it's just it's a tough-minded town. And I think that resonates, with the kids there. And I think it's just something that's been a part of that program for a long time. You from Boston?
My dad is.
Oh, there you go.
I am.
Yeah. There you go. I mean, is that right? Is that accurate? I mean, it's just a tough-minded town, and again, I think from a program standpoint, that's a culture that's been there for a long, long time. And certainly Billy O. I mean, I've known Bill forever. I mean, he fits that perfectly, right? Like he's a great fit for that program, and I think he's a really good coach. And when you watch their team and how things are schematically laid out, they're very well coached, and they play tough and they play physical, and that's always been the case at BC.
Their young quarterback, pretty impressive in that first half against Pitt.
Yeah, I mean, he's really good. I mean, this kid can spin it now. I mean, he's incredibly accurate. He's very, very accurate player. So he was a highly recruited guy. We had him in camp. He's a, and again, I think the scheme that they play is a really perfect. It's a great marriage. I think his skills and the scheme is a perfect marriage because he wants to push it downfield. And I mean the Max Pro play action shots, cross country routes is really set up for him well. So, and they got some guys that can run. So he's a good player. Like I said, very, very accurate, very good understanding of what they do, and then Bill does, and their offensive people, they do a good job of good play design to give them opportunities to be successful. And Back's a good player. Turbo, name's Turbo. He's a good player. They list him at 5'8", but he sure looks a lot bigger than that. I mean, he's a thick kid. Good downhill runner for him.
K Park's averaging 31 plus snaps a game. Is that the biggest step he's taken as far as just being able to stay on the field and be productive while on the field?
Yeah, I mean, that's been kind of the big knock on him for his career, right? Is just availability. There's been early on it was just dependability, trustability, learning what to do, getting just maturing as a player. But then as he got to where he was ready to go do it, it was availability. Just a lot of injuries and a lot of setbacks along the way. So that's been a real positive for him. He's helped himself. I mean, this has been a good year for him. He's played well. He's been a very steady guy for us. And but as you said, I mean, for him to be able to just be available week in and week out has been a awesome thing for him, because that has not been the case.
With Jeremiah getting the start, it seemed like there were more snaps allocated to linebackers and more that 3 linebacker look. Is that something like best use of personnel going forward, or was that a one-off based on the matchups in the game?
It's just personnel. I mean, you're not going to put Jeremiah out there to cover Antonio Williams. So when teams are 11 personnel, it's just hard to play, true Sam linebackers. I mean, without being very predictable, in what you do. Is you're not going to have your Sam play a lot of man coverage. If you're in a personnel like that, you got to have somebody really unique. Just style of play. I mean, they're a lot of 12 personnel, some 13. Similar this week, they're more 11. When you think BC, you think a lot of 12 and 13, but they're actually more 11 than that. But they will have a pretty good dose of some 12 and a little bit of 13 as well. So, you're just matching up personnel and putting yourself in position to be successful. And then down and distance, all that stuff as well.
How would you assess Jeremiah, Kobe, D, those sort of next guys in there? How would you assess them?
They're getting better. They're getting better. I mean, I think the more that they are playing, the more confidence they're getting, the more engaged it creates. The environment is at practice. When those guys know they're going in, they know they're going to play. There's a lot of competition. It takes some off of Sammy and Wade as well. And again, just creates the competitive depth that you want. So it's been good. I mean, we played 5 guys. I think we got Fletcher in there as well. So I think we played, and Fletcher's a good 6th guy, which is the reason we were able to hold Jamal. We just felt like, okay, we're in a good spot right here. Let's try to get this year back, for Jamal. And those guys doing a good job. I mean, D played well. He had one, where he overran. He should have been a TFL, and he wasn't in his gap. But again, just playing. Their effort's good. They're flying around. Details. We got to do a little better job with some of our route recognition, especially in our zone coverages and some of our hot coverages. Some spatial awareness. And just feeling some of the route concepts. I think we can do a little better job with that, especially when we got to push to the flat on some wide alignments off the RPO, play action stuff. So there's a lot of room for improvement. Wish we'd have made the pick. That was a nice play by Jeremiah. He was where he needed to be, read it well, got 2 hands on it. But Jeremiah hadn't played a lot in his career. So it's just good for him to, because I think the more he plays and the more confidence he gets, the more his natural attributes can show up. And same thing with Kobe. Kobe's a guy we trust. We were playing. He was on his way to playing a good bit for us last year before he got out for the year. And then D is coming. So it's been good. Been good.
Tink made that one play on the goal line. Was this maybe one of his better games?
Who was that?
Tink.
Oh yeah. I mean,
he continues to progress.
Yeah, I mean, same thing. Just the more he plays, he's still a young player. He's a sophomore and hadn't played a lot. Was really out his freshman year. He was injured all year, and then not a lot last year. A little bit here or there, and then won the job. I mean, he just won the job in camp. Tom really likes him, and but even that, he's missed at least 1 game this year, maybe 2, but he's missed at least 1. But he's just gaining confidence every day, and a guy that I think needs to continue just to study, continue to do a little extra, because I think the more he does, the more confident he gets. Just like I said with Jeremiah, his skill set will shine through. He's a very competitive kid. He's strong, takes a lot of pride in his performance. So, he's been a good player for us. A lot of room for improvement, but you see his confidence growing.
I think you've talked about this a few times, but how did you feel the dynamic on the sideline change having Tom Allen there?
I just think I'd say maybe confidence. You just could see him. It helps when you throw a touchdown from the first play, 75-0. That don't hurt. 75 yards. So the energy was great, and I think regardless of where Tom was in that game, the team, I think they had just made their mind up. They were going to go win the game. And just simple as that. And I was really proud of that because I just really felt that in their mindset. because hey, when you do this and you get disappointment, there's a lot of things that you got to manage with young people, and especially in a place like Clemson, and you got high expectations. And how do you respond? But I just really felt great energy from the team, and I mean, these guys were ready to play. And I just really felt them together. Tom being down there, I think it just furthered that confidence. I think ramped up the accountability just maybe a little bit more. So it was good. It certainly wasn't a negative.
How would you assess the tight end room through 5 games so far?
Very consistent, a bright spot for our team. They've been a real bright spot. Play here or there, but very consistent. Great future at that position.
You mentioned the zone awareness. Has that been kind of a common theme this season with the other offense been finding those soft spots sort of behind the?
Yeah, especially off some of the RPO stuff, it creates conflict, and so just where your drops are when you do as much disguising as we do, getting where you need to be. There's been a couple times where we've had a couple guys kind of in the same spot, and we really need to be, this guy's pushing to the flat, alignment, recognizing it sooner, knowing what strains you. So yeah, there's just little details that we got to clean up and just keep working through and getting better. Across the board, not just at backer, safety, corner, everywhere.
Where do you feel like Nolan User is at, confidence-wise, performance-wise, so far this season?
Inconsistent. I mean, he's missed a couple of 50-plus yarders. So just, hadn't had a ton of opportunity. How many field goals have we kicked? Hadn't many. 5 or 6. Yeah, we hadn't kicked many. So missed a couple long ones, but for the most part, done a nice job making the ones we need him to make, the routine.
There was one, I think it was in the second quarter against UNC, he lined up, UNC called a timeout as he was kicking it, he ended up pooch punting. Was that, did the calculus change during the timeout, or what were you thinking in that?
Yeah, changed during the timeout. It was a low kick, and they got their hand on it, so I fired him. And I said, okay, we're going to pooch it. He didn't like it. I said, well, you should have made a better kick. This is what happened.
Is the low kick thing maybe one of the things for him?
No, he really hasn't. He's not a low kick guy. He's really hasn't. I just thought it was ugly. And I was like, well, hey, you should have made a better pass on the timeout call, or just don't kick it. If he hadn't kicked it, I would have probably gone in and kicked it. I felt good about how our defense was playing, but after that, I'm like, well, I'm going to pooch it. So that was a in the moment decision. So. You coach those guys when timeout's coming, to try to snap it, kick it, just, worked out against him in that sense. But he's been good in practice. I mean, he's been good. What was that, 54, 52 yarder or so? But I thought we were playing good on defense. That dictates a lot of those things, but I just didn't like how it looked on that first one. So, and I said, well, let's play a little field position. And we were able to get a stop. That was good. Something we haven't done a good job of this year when we have created field position, keeping it. So that was a huge part of the game that it doesn't really show up on somewhere, but that's been a real challenge for us. Even like the opening drive of Georgia Tech, we stopped them on 4th down, but the ball, you run the offense out there on the 5-yard line. And so, just creating field position was a big goal in that game, and that was a part of it too.
Why do you think opposing offenses have had so much success on their opening drives of the game?
Well, I thought we played it was probably as good as we've played on that opening drive. Just kind of had a fluke play. I mean, we hit him. If AV doesn't hesitate, if you watch he's a quarterback guy all the way, and for some reason he's going to the quarterback, but then he takes a step and then he goes back, and if he doesn't take that step, he hits him, and maybe it's a fumble. But that ball gets hit and it's 21-yard gain. I mean that didn't help. So I thought we had a good first drive, but just there were a couple plays, that being one of them, that kind of put us in a little bit of a hole. And they ended up making the field goal. But, got to give the other team credit, too. I mean, but I don't think we've done some of the little things well. There's been a couple plays there that we need to make, and I think other teams have good players and good coaches too. But it was good to see us hold them to a field goal right there, and then they didn't score again
You think you're back
on our ones.
You think your backup offensive line late did a good job of opening holes
Yeah.
between the tackles?
Yeah, I thought Rock got in there, Big Ronan. He's a big physical kid. Thought he did a nice job. Again, as I mentioned, I guess last night, Harris got to play some center, which was really good. And I thought he looked athletic. He did a nice job of commanding it. That was good to see. We got Braden got up in there, so it was good to get a new group of guys in there, coming off the ball. And we got Ian Reed got in there. This kid. You talk about a great story. I mean, people have no idea what Ian has been through in his career. The fact that he's able to even get out on the field is a miracle. And I was really proud of him, to be able to get out there and know what to do. So, he's still just a redshirt freshman guy. Missed, I guess, all of last year. But really happy for him, proud of him. So, it's good to play all those guys. The only guy we held was Gavin, and that was intentional. Who we were really high on him, but kind of saving his 4 games as long as we can. Didn't want to put him in there in a situation like that, because we'd play Gavin in the first quarter if we had to. Like, he's a kid we trust. Like, if something happened, that's why we're trying to save his games as long as we can, those 4, because he's a guy for sure that can help us.
Coach, how about that game last night for Trevor Lawrence
Man.
from catastrophic to clutch in the
Yeah, I
end?
was trying to go to sleep, and I couldn't go to sleep. So I was so happy for Trevor. I mean, just awesome. I hate it for Andy Reid because I love Andy Reid too. But it's a long trip home. It was a tough game like that. I mean, they haven't had quite the start that they want, but they'll keep playing. I thought they played well, but I was so happy for Trevor. I mean, Travis played awesome. Great to see him have a big game. He's having a great year, and then they're getting him the ball. But I mean, that's a game he needed. Monday Night Football against Mahomes. It's his birthday. If you're going to win it, you're going to have to make some throws in that window right there, and he did. I mean, he made some big-time plays. The throw to Thomas Kidd on the side was a heck of a play. The throw over on the left side, I mean, that was a great play. And then just, he looked like, that was a complete disaster on the last play, getting stepped on. And, but he somehow or another, he got up untouched and was able to get in there. That was the other thing, too. He made some big plays with his legs, which we've all seen that. So I was just really happy for him. It's just one of those games. They're 4-1. That's a momentum type game. But man, Trevor will be the first guy in the building. He'll be the first guy back at work. He'll be the first guy grading himself. Like, I got to be better. I got to this. I got to that. And nothing matters. He won't be walking around saying we're 4-1. He's going to just be focused on trying to win the game. And on the other side, Mahomes will be the same way. He ain't going to be walking around pouting they're 2-3. He'd be pissed, but they'll go find a way to win the next one. That's why they're such a good football team. But it was a great game. It was a great game. A lot of big plays on both sides.
Any questions for Coach virtually? Anybody else in the room?
Long way to go, obviously, but what's it like to look at the ACC standings and see Tony Elliott and Virginia at the top?
Oh, man. Yeah, it's just super proud of Tony. I mean, I think they're the epitome of a team that believes. I mean, they're playing together and they believe. And that is a powerful thing when you get a team that's really, really together and really truly believes. And then Chandler, I've known Chandler forever, since he was a little bitty kid. Man, he's just, the team's kind of taking on his personality. He's a fighter. He's gritty. He's kind of got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. I don't think he gets a lot of credit, but he's a tough little gritty dude. And but it's just awesome. I mean, they've had 3 losing seasons in a row, and they've been through a lot. And, to just, man, I couldn't be more proud of Tony. And I'm so happy for him. And I'm thankful for, Carla and the administration, everybody up there for hanging in there with him. It'd be very easy to just give up on a guy. But, man, Tony's special. He's special. And he always has been. And, man, it's fun to see. And, hopefully they can keep it going. But I'm super proud of him. But, again, the team, he's got a team that's playing with a, when you win a couple of those games, they've had a couple overtime wins, but when you got a team that's truly together and a team that's playing with an unshakable belief, magic can happen. And maybe sometimes you can, win a game maybe you're not supposed to win on paper. And when you do that, next thing you know, you get a lot of synergy. And so it's just been awesome. And, Tony's, again, what they've been through up there from when he first got that job. But I think that was God's plan to take him there for that reason, because he's the right leader, for what they've been through. And he's done a good job. Staff's hung in there, and fun to see.
Antonio Williams is a 4-for-4 for passing in his career. Just what makes him a versatile player that you and your staff trust in those situations to throw the ball in those situations?
Well, I mean, he's just a mature guy, first of all. He's a savvy athlete. He's a good basketball player. I mean, he's just a good all-around athlete, but he can throw it. I mean, he's just one of those guys that got to, you always figure out who can throw. They all think they can throw, but they can't. But he actually can throw. But he's just a guy you trust. I mean, he's just got great instincts for the game and awareness for the game, and you put the ball in his hands, like, you don't think he's going to put you in a bad spot. He'll throw it away if he needs to throw it away. He'll run it if he needs to run it. He's just got good instincts for the game, good savviness, and just a mature player. Pretty good odds, though. That's a pretty good percentage for him. Better know where he's at.
One more on Nolan, and just, I guess, kickers like field goal range. How much during a season can you kind of see where that is and maybe make decisions on fourth downs because of it? And the guys.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that, from the 33. I mean, I don't have any hesitation. I mean, literally I'd let him kick a 60. He just will get his mojo back. I mean, I threw him out there for a 56-yarder in a championship game, so I mean, I trust the kid. But he's had a couple misses this year. The first one he missed he hit that ball well. Was that like a 54-yarder or something like that, 50-something yarder against LA? He really hit it well. I mean, it was just a little right, I think, but. So he's missed a couple I felt like he should have made, but those are long kicks. But anything inside the 30 for him should be automatic. That's just what we expect. I mean, he's this guy's made more field goals than any high school kid in the history. So he's made a ton of them. But then how's your defense playing? Who's their offense? What's the flow of the game? There's just a lot of factors that go into it. How are we playing on offense? We went for it a couple times on fourth down last week, and in fact, we hit them. I think we scored the very next play after both fourth downs. So those are huge conversions when you make those plays.
You talked about Corey and Gibson playing the nickel more. I guess where is he in his development?
Yeah, he's not as far along as we'd like, but we're ramping that up because obviously now we've got a little bit of a gap there. Losing Shelton. Shelton's a good player and a critical guy for us. So now all of a sudden we got a little bit of a gap, so we're having to create some depth that kind of puts a little more on Noah. So Noah hadn't been getting as many reps, so now he's getting more reps, and then we're trying to kind of manufacture a little depth. And Gip's actually a guy that long-term we felt like could be a guy for that position. But we're really just trying to, with him coming off the injury last year, we really just felt like, okay, as a redshirt freshman this year, like we really wanted to get him really locked in at corner and get him confident. Because it ain't just easy to go in there and play the slot, where you got two-way goes, there's a lot going on. When you go play corner, that's not easy either, but at least you got a boundary. You got a buddy right there, right? right? It's always 2-on-1. You got Sammy sideline out there with you. So the slot's different. It's a little different. And then there's fitting in the run game and you know, pressures. I mean, there's just more to it. And he was a guy that you know, we felt like, hey, let's get him really locked in and confident in corner, and we'll go from there. But yeah, at this point now, we got to kind of force the issue with him.
Anybody else for Coach? All right. Thank
All right.
you, Coach.
See y'all in Boston.